Well, Maldives, as a Muslim country, member of the OIC, always show its support and solidarity to the Palestinian cause. Maldives is a very well-known tourist destination in Palestine, especially the teenagers, where they look to Maldives, an excellent choice for the honeymoon. So if you ask the young Palestinians on their dreams, they always look to come to Maldives, to relax in Maldives, since they continue being under pressure of the Israeli occupation. When they come to Maldives, they feel like a peaceful country where they can enjoy and they can relax. We always, I had several meetings since I came to Maldives this time, and through my visits before, I always re-emphasized and requested where Maldives could play a role locally, regionally, and internationally. The Maldivian government could play a role just to increase the awareness of Maldivians of the Palestinian cause, the history, and how the struggle started. And for 7.5 decades, Palestinians have been struggling. So Maldivians, especially the young generations, needs to know more and more about Palestine. That's where the Maldivian government could play a role of increasing awareness of Maldivians about the Palestinian cause. One. Number two, regionally, Maldives can be influential country with its excellent relations with so many Muslim, Arab, and even non-Muslim, non-Arab countries within ASEAN, within the neighboring countries, where Maldives could influence some of those who even questioning the support to Palestine, on to convince them to give their support and solidarity to Palestine. The third dimension, which is international dimension, where Maldives always played a role in the General Assembly in New York, and the Security Council does play a role within its relations with the international community to help promoting the Palestinian cause to the international community, the justice of our struggle to the international community. Maldives can play a role in increasing more and more support of the international community to the Palestinian cause. Well, yesterday I had a meeting in the Foreign Ministry. I met His Excellency the Foreign Minister Abdullah Shahid, and we had it's kind of I bid him a farewell visit, since he is leaving, the office. And when we were coming out of the Foreign Ministry, coincidentally, I met with a group of Maldivians. They were wearing the Palestinian flag and the Palestinian scarf, and they didn't know who I am. I didn't know who they are, but suddenly I saw a group of young Malaysians gathering in front of the parliament. Of course, they don't know me, and I don't know them. But they were showing a message that they are supporter to Palestine and to the Palestinian cause. So I stopped with them and I said, thank you for what you are doing, without knowing, what they were there for. But then later on, I discovered that they have a message to the parliament, which has to do with the boycott. Boycotting, of course, is very important for us, especially when it comes from Maldives. It's a message to the international community for all those who support Israel. In terms of companies, institutions, countries, individuals who are in favor of supporting Israel, when they see Maldives message, because there is a project internationally which called the BDS, which all those believers of stop the support to Israel when they act against Palestinians, when you boycott them, that might affect. And you take any, I don't want to mention any names, or I don't want to mention any companies, but in general, the supporters of Israel to kill Palestinians must be boycott. And this is the message. So yesterday I interacted with these protesters and demonstrators when they were in front of the parliament, and I just shared with them free Palestine, and that the message was clear, to all of them. They liked it very much. Then they realized this is the Palestinian ambassador, and they were very happy that I joined them. Well, thank you very much for raising this question, which is very important question. No one can question the support of Maldivians and even many other nations around the globe. When they decide to contribute and help Palestinian people, whether it's in Gaza or the West Bank or Al-Quds, I think it's their rights to know that their contribution does reach its destination. For transparency, in Palestine, as a Palestinian Authority, we decided that we will make it clear that all contributions at the moment which goes to Gaza must go through the Egyptian Red Crescent. They facilitate, coordinate, whether it's financial support or materials to Gaza. The Egyptian Red Crescent, together with the Palestinian Red Crescent, receive donations, contributions from all over the world, and they facilitate it to go to Gaza to reach its destination for those who are in need of it. The risk where Israelis, Americans, European countries, international observers, they want to make sure that contributions and donations are not misused or mismanaged to serve any political or ideological agendas. If it's going for humanitarian reasons to help those who are in need of it, we as a Palestinian Authority want to make sure that those who are in need of these humanitarian aids does receive the contributions. So it's the responsibility of the Palestinian Authority, through the Red Crescent, through the Egyptian authorities, through the international observers, just to make sure when Maldivians contribute, that the contribution reach its destination. I think international community needs to make it clear to all those who are on favor and supporter to Palestine and the Palestinians. All our territories are under occupation. What do we mean by that? Since we are under occupation, the occupier, which is Israel, control the borders, the ground, control the air, and control the sea. So crossing the borders to go into Palestine must go through the Israeli authorities, because they are the occupier. They are on the ground. Without coordinating with the Israelis, they will not facilitate any external aids when it needs to go to Gaza. At the moment, Egyptians and the Egyptian authorities coordinate with the Israeli authorities to facilitate entering all aids needed for Gaza. The question is, what is needed in Gaza? Everything is needed in Gaza. We start from drinking water, food, healthcare, fuel, etc., etc., etc. Everything is needed in Gaza. When the Israelis forced more than 1.5 million Palestinians to evacuate their residential units, and they became homeless, they have no mattresses, they have no blankets, and the weather is very cold at the moment. We are in winter in Palestine. So these homeless 1.5 million, together with those who were originally residents in the south of Gaza, and Gaza is a very small geography, 2.3 million Palestinians living in less than 400 square kilometers. So the highest populated area on earth is in Gaza. So all kind of external aids is needed for Gaza. If you talk about health stuff to go from Maldives to help in Gaza, no, they can't go because Israelis will not allow them since they control the borders. Ambulances, some countries were contributing to send some ambulances because more than 40 ambulances were struck by the Israelis and even destroyed. So Gaza is in need of ambulances to evacuate injured and killed people. They managed through the Egyptian authorities to facilitate sending some ambulances vehicles into Gaza. It needs a lot of arrangements, but it can happen. But the Israelis are limiting what you can send. At the moment, the most urgent needs is for fueling, because with fuel, you need to have electricity. All generators are in need of fueling. Without facilitating some fuel to go to Gaza, all hospital facilities are collapsing. The health system in Gaza is collapsing because of lack of fueling. It's not a matter of just having lights. It's not a matter of just having facilities working. Fueling is a must to go to Gaza. They facilitated less than 100,000 liters, where Gaza on daily basis, they need over, according to the United Nations, they need over 200,000 liters of fuel every day. So this is the situation. The priorities of items has to be coordinated between the Egyptian authorities and the Israeli authorities, the occupier. Our struggle is 75 years old. I think all Muslim Ummah know that Palestinians have been suffering for 7.5 decades. And they know very well that the bill we are paying as a result of the Israeli occupation is very well known. But unfortunately, our nation has been suffering of the double standards and suffering of being unfair treatment by the international community. Why international community responded quickly when the Ukrainian crisis took place with Russia? International community reacted immediately against Russia and put Russia under sanctions. Why international community never reacted against Israel and its violation of the international law? Why Palestinians' suffering continued to be witnessed by international community and they do nothing to help Palestinians? Palestinians deserve to live as any other human being, as any other nation around the globe. Why international community could not do something to put an end to the Palestinian suffering? Thousands or hundreds of thousands of martyrs being killed by the Israelis. We still have over 7,000 Palestinians in the Israeli custody. Almost half of our nation outside our territories, struggling and fighting for the right of return. They deserve to go back to their homeland, which is Palestine. Why they should continue to be refugees? Why we have in Maldives Palestinians who are unable to go back to Palestine? For how long do they need to continue suffer? International community is responsible to put an end to the Palestinian suffering by being fair with them and force Israel to recognize the Palestinian right in an independent Palestinian state with Al-Quds as its capital. Without that, without achieving that, Middle East will continue to be unstable, will continue to be unsecure, will continue to have no normal diplomatic relations between Israel, Arab and Muslim countries. Our Palestinian people at the moment are united to counter the Israeli state terrorism. The issue is not Hamas, the issue is not Fatah. The main issue is the Israeli occupation. Let's get rid of the Israeli occupation, then leave Palestinians to decide their future, whether they want Hamas or they want Fatah. It's the decision of our nation, decision of our Palestinian people. At the moment, we are all united against the Israeli occupation. The top priority issue is how can, as Palestinians, how can we get rid of the Israeli occupation? International community, Maldivians has to understand this. Issue is not Hamas or Fatah. The issue is the Israeli occupation. Main priority at the moment that Maldivians and all international community are needed to support Palestinians to put an end to the Israeli occupation. After that, Palestinians will decide. They want Hamas, fine. They want. I'm sure in Maldives you have your own political parties. It's up to Maldivians to decide which political party will lead them. Same thing with Palestine and Palestinians. When we get rid of the Israeli occupation, our people will decide who do they want. They want Hamas or they want Fatah or whatever. So the main issue at the moment is the Israeli occupation. Maldivians, just continue, keep Palestine in your heart. Continue your support and solidarity. Keep us in your dua. Keep us in your pray. Try to help as much as you can by quoting those who are in support of Israel, because with such pressure on Israel, Israel might accept UN resolutions, Security Council resolutions, and they might accept to recognize the Palestinian rights, to enjoy and exercise peace, and to live free, similar to any other nation around the globe.